types of real estate assets they offer. Maybe it's their community building strategies.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Understanding that unique selling proposition is, I think, crucial for evaluating their long-term prospects.
Okay, so we've got the cyclical demand loop. We've got the importance of community. And we've got the competitive landscape. But let's zoom back in on that real estate piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
How does this fractional ownership actually work in practice?
Okay.
Like, I'm picturing myself, I win a go-drop auction. What happens next?
Right.
Do I get like a virtual deed?
Yeah.
How do I actually benefit from owning, a fraction of a real-world property?
Yeah. So it all comes down to how these tokenized real estate assets are structured, right? So typically there's a legal entity that owns the underlying property, and your NFT represents, a share of ownership in that entity.
Gotcha.
Right. So that's where things can get a little bit complex.
So there's more to it than just winning an NFT and suddenly, I'm a part owner.
You're not just,
of a skyscraper.
Exactly. There are legal and logistical frameworks that need to be in place to actually manage these fractional ownership arrangements.
Okay.
How are decisions made about the property? How are profits distributed?
Yeah.
What are the tax implications?
Yeah.
Right.
It sounds like there are a lot of moving parts.
There are a lot of details to work out.
Yeah. So how does GTPR address those legal and logistical complexities?
Yeah, that's something I think we need to look for in our research. They should be transparent about the legal structures they've put in place and how they handle these complexities. Transparency is paramount when you're dealing with real world assets and investments.
So we're essentially looking for evidence that they've thought through these challenges,
that they have a plan,
have a solid plan in place.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And we also need to, I think, consider the regulatory landscape, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the legal and regulatory frameworks surrounding tokenized real estate are still evolving.
It's a new space.
It's very new, and different jurisdictions have different rules.
Of course.
Right. So it's essential for GoatTapper to navigate those complexities effectively.
What might be perfectly legal in one country.
Exactly.
Yeah, could be,
a regulatory nightmare.
A nightmare in another.
Yeah.
So how do they ensure compliance across different regions?
That's a great question. And again, something I think we need to investigate further.
Okay.
Their white paper, their documentation should address their approach to regulatory compliance.
Okay.
It's critical in determining their long-term viability.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have, We've talked about the cyclical demand loop, the importance of community, the competitive landscape, the mechanics of fractional ownership, the legal and regulatory considerations. It's clear that GTPR and GoatTapper are trying to do something innovative.
Yeah.
But there are also a lot of potential pitfalls here.
There are,
What are some of the red flags?
Yeah, what should we
be looking out for as we delve deeper?
Yeah, so I think one major red flag would be a lack of transparency, right?
Okay.
If they're not upfront about their team, their technology, their legal structures, their regulatory compliance efforts.
Okay.
That's, I think, a cause for concern.
Right.
Another red flag, I think, would be unrealistic promises or,
It's not backed up by concrete evidence.
Exactly, yeah. We need to be wary of those projects. And overpromise and underdeliver.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is warranted.
I think so, yeah.
We shouldn't just take their word for it.
Right.
We need to, see the receipts.
We need to see the proof.
Okay.
Yeah.
So transparency, realistic expectations, and thorough due diligence.
Due diligence is key.
Or key here.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the human element, right? We've talked a lot about the tech, the economics.
Yeah.
But what about the people behind GTPR?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What can we learn about their experience?
The team behind a project can make or break it.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to look into their backgrounds, their expertise in, gaming, blockchain technology, and real estate.
Okay.
Do they have a proven track record?
Right.
Are they passionate about their vision?
Right, right.
These are all important factors.
It's not just about the tech.
No.
It's about,
It's about the people driving it.
the people driving it.
Their passion, their experience, their commitment to the project.
Their commitment, right?
That can make a huge difference.
Yeah. And speaking of commitment, let's talk about, their long-term vision.
Okay, so where do they see
GTPR and GoatTapper?
Yeah, 5-10 years from now.
5 years from now.
Right. Do they have a clear roadmap for development and growth? Are they, adaptable and responsive to changes in the market? I mean,
because the crypto landscape is
constantly evolving.
Constantly evolving.
Yeah.
What seems like, a groundbreaking idea today could be,
obsolete tomorrow.
Obsolete tomorrow.
Yeah.
So how do they plan to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah. How does
ensure that
GTPR
remains relevant
and valuable over time?
Yeah. And that brings us to, I think, another crucial aspect we need to examine. The tokenomics of GTPR.
Okay. The tokenomics, yeah.
How is the token distributed?
Right. How is it distributed?
What are the mechanisms in place to control
the supply
and prevent inflation?
Yeah. How are they using
token incentives?
Token incentives to encourage,
Yeah, to encourage that
platform adoption and community engagement.
Okay, so
right.
Understanding the tokenomics is...
Yeah, let's dive into the tokenomics and see how GTPR kind of stacks up.
Yeah, how does it compare?
Against other projects in the space.
Yeah, to other projects out there.
What are some of the key metrics?
So I think one important metric is the total supply of tokens, right?
Okay.
Is it fixed, or is there a possibility of future inflation?
Okay.
Right. We also need to look at, the distribution of tokens.
Okay.
How much is held by the team?
Right.
How much is allocated to the community?
Mm-hmm.
How much is set aside for future development?
So we're looking for a balance.
We are, yeah.
We don't want the team to hold too much.
Right.
But we also don't want the token to be flooded with supply.
Exactly, yeah.
Which could drive down the value.
You want to find that sweet spot.
Okay.
And we also need to consider, I think, the mechanisms they have in place to control the tokens,
circulation.
Yeah. Do they have buyback and burn programs?
Right.
Staking rewards?
Yeah.
Or other mechanisms, designed to create scarcity and support the token's value.
So scarcity is
Scarcity is
key driver of value in the crypto world.
It is, yeah.
Right. The more scarce something is,
the more valuable it becomes.
Especially if there's strong demand for it.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. And speaking of demand, we need to, I think, circle back to the community.
Right. How actively are they, promoting GTPR and GoatTapper?
Are they passionate about the project?
Yeah. Are they passionate about it, or are they just in it for,
right.
a quick buck?
That's a good point.
Because community sentiment can be a very powerful indicator of a project's potential.
If the community is actively engaged,
they're spreading the word.
And genuinely excited.
Excited about the project?
That's a good sign.
That's a very good sign.
Right.
It shows there's organic growth and that people,
believe in the vision.
Believe in the long-term vision.
Yeah.
And that, I think, brings us back to that question of sustainability.
Right. After analyzing all these factors, right?
Yeah.
The tech, the economics,
the
team, the community, the big question remains,
does
GTPR have what it takes? To survive and thrive in the long run?
Yeah, and that's the million-dollar question. Right. Unfortunately, there's no crystal ball to tell us for sure.
Yeah.
But I think by carefully examining all these elements, we can start to, form a more informed opinion.
Yeah. Right. So let's shift gears a little bit and start to kind of synthesize what we've learned. What are the key strengths and weaknesses of GTPR?
Okay, so I think one of the biggest strengths is their unique value proposition.
Okay.
Right? The combination of gaming, tokenized real estate, and community engagement it's innovative.
Yeah.
And it has the potential, I think, to disrupt multiple industries.
It's like they're creating a whole new...
It's a new category
of asset gamified real estate.
Yeah, it's pretty compelling.
That's pretty compelling.
Yeah.
What about weaknesses?
Okay,
Where do they need to improve?
I think one potential weakness is the complexity of the project.
Okay.
Right? There are a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
It can be difficult, I think, to understand how it all, fits together.
Yeah, they need to do a better job of kind of
Yeah, they need to simplify.
Explaining their vision in a clear and concise way.
Make it accessible.
Yeah, make it accessible to a wider audience.
Because not everyone's a crypto expert.
Right. They need to strike that balance between
between technical depth and user friendliness.
Okay, strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Check it. What about opportunities?
Opportunities. Well, I think one major opportunity